And good morning to you all. Thanks for joining us for what will be day 5 of the murder trial of James Prokopovitz in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We're standing by to go live to the Brown County Courthouse when the trial resumes in about 30 minutes. In the meantime, we'll take a look at the key testimony from yesterday. And I'm joined this morning, and they'll be with us all this morning to talk about the trial by Tiffany Simmons and Holly Davis. Thank you both for being here this morning. Holly, so far, what do you make of the case?
I think the prosecution has done an excellent job of systematically laying out many witnesses over 4 days, now today being the fifth day, and which is very difficult in a no-body murder case. So in my mind, the prosecution has thoroughly laid out the evidence that they promised the jurors that they would see in day one. I thought the opening statement of the prosecution really laid out the theory of the case, and now we're seeing each day, handfuls of witnesses that back up the prosecution's case. So in my mind, I think the prosecution's doing an excellent job of staying true to the promises made in opening statement. And I think the defense is lodging a pretty great defense as well, and making their case through cross-examination. However, I've got some problems in the defense's theory of the case, which I'm sure we'll get into throughout the morning.
Of course, Holly, that's all they really have in some cases here in terms of what points the finger at Prokopovitz.
Yes, but I think when you take a look at the entire picture over the course of, the several years since Vicky went missing, you really can paint an accurate picture. The passage of time and what people say to others is a very good reference point for finding out what happened. And I think, again, there are many people that can share a piece, a slice of their interactions with Jim Prokopovitz. And the reason why that's important, and the reason why the testimony is important of that officer, is that the defense is lodging a claim that Jim is a person that grieves differently. That's fine, but we have to be concerned when someone is almost giddy and excited at the, quote, disappearance or, quote, suicide or murder of their wife. And when you have a person that is not behaving as someone would when their spouse is dead, their spouse of 20 plus years, then they become a person of interest in the case. So having this police officer testify, this investigator testify about his methods for understanding that people grieve differently is a direct counter to the defense's claim that this defendant isn't guilty just because he refused to assist in the search of his wife. And I have one issue that would really be a good question for the defense to answer, because the defense their claim is basically that she's had a lot of mental health issues and she was suicidal, even though that's not exactly what Jim told the investigators in the day after she went missing. However, the defense's theory now is that she must have killed herself in such a way that no one could ever have found her. And if that's the case, wouldn't Jim have wanted to at least find his dead wife's body? Whether or not it was murder or suicide, wouldn't you at least want to bury her? The fact that he didn't even participate, even if it truly was a suicide, in attempting to find his wife's body if she died of suicide is of note to me. And if the defense could explain that, I think they'd have a better chance.